every once in a while you just gotta tell your boat, thank you.
So I feed the peppers to the unicorn, and the unicorn falls in love with me.
I'm checking his room for drugs. I'm Preston, sailing my 1988 Catalina 36 around the Pacific Northwest with my stupid cat. I have 3 teenagers and a few years left until freedom hits me like a rock in the face. Join me and my shenanigans as I learn the ropes and make plenty of mistakes, gearing up for the day I can sell all my crap and sail off into the sunset. It didn't get that windy last night, but I anchored a little close to the shore, it looks like. Low tide is in another 2 hours, and we're already at 8.9 feet. So I'll pull in some of the anchor, see how much depth that gives me, but we may just end up moving earlier than I wanted to. We're leaving this little spot at noon because the wind has shifted, coming right at us, throwing us onto the shore. And there's a ton of fetch. It's getting pretty nasty. Look at all these damn pots all in one spot, right by the channel marker. I mean, had we come in here at night, we surely would have wrapped one of those around our prop. The wind's been on our nose at about 10 knots, 10 to 15 knots, all the first 2 hours of this trip. We've made a turn heading a little further south-ish, southeast. And the wind's at about a 45-degree angle to our nose now, so I can at least bring out the Genoa. If I wasn't being lazy, I'd bring out the main also, but I can see where we're going. I mean, it's still, 6 miles, still an hour away or so, but I'm just not gonna do that. I'm feeling lazy. But the Genoa is providing about 2 knots by itself right now. So that allows me to, I don't care about going super fast, so that allowed me to drop the RPM from 2,000 down to like 1,600, which is just, it's a lot quieter. And just makes it a little more pleasant sitting in the cockpit. From the cockpit, you don't realize how huge 135% Genoa is. You stand up here and you look back at it. I mean, it's damn near the size of the boat. It's just huge. I mean, when we've been in, 15 knots beating into it with just the Genoa out, I mean, standing up here, you can see why it gets so scary, man. This thing provides a hell of a lot of power. You know what really annoys me is other boaters that have anchored in a anchorage, and once they've anchored, they go out 30 feet and drop their crab pots in the middle of the anchorage. Choppity chop chop. Nah, we're not going in here.
Why?
That's a syringe full of something.
I saw that. I didn't know exactly what it was.
Oh. I'm underway early in the morning from Langley, heading back home. It's probably going to be a 10-hour trip. That's with good conditions. This might be my last, the last video. I'm not sure. kind of hard to wrap your head around continuing to do the same thing you've been doing for a while when your life suddenly changes. Got mixed feelings about it and whether I should just keep going or just start afresh and new. I keep telling myself that it's happened before and it's always a dark period, and this is just gonna be one of those dark periods in your life, and then after a little while it won't be dark anymore. I'm trying to convince myself to just keep trucking along, because my opinion will be different in 6 months.
A couple nights ago, I dreamt, I don't remember exactly how it started, but I remember there's like an outside backyard area with this tree, and there's this weird redheaded girl who's after me. I run to the tree, and it turns out it's like a chili pepper tree or something like that, and there's a unicorn sitting next to it. So I feed the peppers to the unicorn, and the unicorn falls in love with me. Then the redhead girl comes up, and so I run up the tree, and she like tries following me. I kick her in the face like 5 times before I decide this isn't working. I jumped out of the tree, I hopped on the unicorn's back, and I rode away off to the house. I went into Olive's closet, and because apparently there are some magical special like blue sparkles that will turn my unicorn into a Pegasus. The Arnold Schwarzenegger was sitting in her room like trying to kill us. I like grabbed the ukulele and I started whacking him over the head, and so he grabs a like bedazzled shotgun that's sitting on the wall, and he, instead of trying to shoot me, he whacks me with it, but I grab it out of his hands. I shoot him in the face, except apparently it's like a cartoon where it doesn't like shoot them, it blows them in their face like in a black smoke, and he had that like explosion face, like where it's like all black and then his hair is a little pulled back. Olive finally started being like, oh, maybe we should run, and so me and Olive run to the living room where our cat Atrix is there, and apparently Arnold Schwarzenegger's after Atrix, and I'm like, Olive, help us, while she's just like sitting down on the couch like, no, I don't care. And so Kaya comes out, and she does like cool hair flip thing. She has like this, I don't remember exactly what hair, but I just remember it was cool. And what happened after that? Oh yeah, then Kaya goes back in. I couldn't find a car, but I found this metal like bowl that we used to make cookies in, and then all of a sudden she hands me, and all of a sudden Atrix has turned into a thing of dough, and so I'm carrying around a big like metal bowl full of dough, which is Atrix. And I don't know where Arnold Schwarzenegger is, but he's not chasing us anymore, but we're just running. We pass by like a motorcycle and a bunch of bikes, and I am like, guys, how are we gonna... I just decided to keep running, and Kaya apparently somehow hot wires the motorcycle and like drives really slow next to us, and so we run it, and all of a sudden I'm running in town, and there's like the city hall thing, and there's like a big event going on with school, and I see my old teachers there, and then I see this person that looks like Dad walking out, but it's not him. And I'm just, now Atrix has turned into a burrito for some reason, and so I take a bite out of him, and I'm pretty sure that's where it ends.
I'm checking his room for drugs. It's kind of sad this last week in the islands. A lot of the boats have gone home, have headed back south wherever they came from. I mean, it really feels like summer's already over, and this year it didn't start until July. Even the air feels wintry already, like September. It's really depressing. Sitting here reading as we motor along reminds reminds me of when I was 16 or 17. My dad, a Delta pilot, smuggled me up in the middle of the night to the cockpit of an MD-11 crossing the Pacific Ocean on the way to Japan. The sun was either rising or just setting. It was unbelievably amazing to see. It reminds me of walking in. He's in the captain's seat, says hi, and he's reading a book. The wind is going to be light, if there is any, like there is a little bit now, barely 5 knots. It's going to be on our nose the whole way. But I forced myself not to be lazy with how long of a day it is, and I put up the main. What I've learned from all these years of watching YouTube channels and stuff is that you should pretty much always motor with your main up. A little bit of wind flowing over it helps with a slight amount of speed, a little bit of you know, gas mileage. I don't know how much that actually helps. Probably not even measurable, but the point is I forced myself not to be lazy. You know what's great about this trip? Nothing broke. I mean, last summer's trip, we sawed a hole in the coolant line. The engine overheated dramatically, got towed. Had to cut away our entire anchor package and barely missed being thrown under the rocks by current early in the morning. The toilet stopped flushing completely, and we suffered with that for a long time. We had a dramatic water leak from somewhere under the old water heater. I still have no idea where it was, but we lost all our water and suffered with that. I mean, this trip, nothing went wrong. Nothing at all. Every once in a while, you just gotta tell your boat, thank you. I smell poopy pants.
And you're right, and there's still pants probably do. Anybody got a roll of toilet paper?
Just throw it over. That's funny.